gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about
Left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know, so.
Done a great job to get us mainstream as a sport, but now there's space for a new player, and we don't need to beat them to win. There's enough to go around, right? As MMA fans, you know, which I am, and we are, you know, UFC can only do so many events, and yeah, we're going to be a co-leader in the sport, if not the number one in a short period.
If there was one thing as fans of mixed martial arts we could all do to improve, just MMA in general, what could it be?
Well, I think it comes down to the fighters, right? So it's giving fighters more opportunities, right? The demand is there. You know, look at everyone here today, right? Look at the fans. People want more MMA. So I think it's about supporting the fighters, putting them first, giving them more stability, right? More opportunities. You know, today we have, you know, a card of 10 fighters in the end, 10 fights in the end, and that's creating more opportunities for the fighters. So it's all about supporting the fighter, and that's what you need to do as a fan.
That's very interesting you say that, because the fighters that we interviewed here, they were very grateful for what you guys are doing for them.
Yeah, look, our mission is to advance and grow the sport. Professional is in our name, and that's for a reason. We're here to professionalize the sport, right? It's still in Europe, you know, there's a lot of hype, a lot of fans, massive gates with the UFC, and yeah, now it's about structuring it in a way where we give the athletes the opportunity to compete and win, and ultimately control their own careers. If you're good enough to get in the UFC, in the PFL, sorry, then it's on you. You keep winning, you're rewarded, right? In our $1 million season, you compete twice in the regular season. If you get through, you go to the playoffs. If you win that, you go to the championship. 4 fights, 8-9 months, $1 million. World champion, right? As a fighter, what more do you want? But next year in the PFL, by the way, you've got to come back and defend it. That's true sport, and that's what we're about. So.
Yeah, just do 2 more questions, guys. That's all right.
Just one from me then. I want to talk about obviously some superstars that have obviously performed this evening. Firstly, Scott, absolutely fantastic performance, and obviously Lewis McGrillen. I just want to get your thoughts on them and their performance, and maybe what's next for them, because I know Lewis only had a 1-fight deal. So what's next?
Look, those two are studs, right? I think there's a lot of talent coming out of Manchester. Right, Manchester top teams on a pretty, you know, hot streak. Dakota's there. I think Manchester in general as well, with Brendan winning last year. But those two are really exciting, and I think they showed that tonight. Lewis is a lot more loud than Louis, right? And actually, Louis' knockout was a bit louder than Lewis's. So it's funny how it works. But yeah, it was really good to see, and I think they've got a bright future in the PFL.
Is there a chance to get a PFL show? I know Dakota called for it. Lewis called for it. The other Lewis called for it.
Yeah.
Is there a chance to get a show?
Top of the list.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much.
UFC sometimes kind of like dropped the ball in Europe. I feel like they haven't paid as much attention and haven't been coming here as often. Do you sense that as well? And what are your plans to sort of take over?
Look, I think they've built an amazing business, but they're still exporting the US product to the UK. You know, if, you know, maybe once, twice now, which is great for the fans. But ultimately, we're here to be here 4, 5, 6, 10 times a year or more. Again, back to the fighters, back to the fans.
So very quickly, could you just say a few words as well about Newcastle as a host city for this historic event?
Newcastle's perfect, right? So when we were looking at the map, we knew that Newcastle would deliver. I think over the last 5-6 years, obviously we've had COVID, but it's been starved of the best of the best MMA, and it's a fighting city. I lived here for 4 or 5 years. It was the perfect time, and look what happened. It was the perfect outcome.
And how does it feel to have it in an arena that's known for winning, such as the Newcastle Eagles?
Yeah, big up the Eagles, right? I came on Friday and they competed with the London Lions, so I was a bit conflicted. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Basketball and MMA, there's some good crossover there, so more to come on that.
Amazing. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about
Left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know, so.